Hello students, good morning. Let us discuss the two different parts of the globalization and the Indian economy. Okay, first of all, you are already aware about the organizations that we are today exploring and its aims and objectives and what actual work this organization is doing for international trade. Okay, everything we are going to explore in this video. So be attentive and listen carefully. Because these two World Trade Organizations, which is popularly called WTO, and steps to attract foreign investment, which is known as one of the organization's says. Okay, about these two topics we are going to deal today, and therefore these two topics are also fascinating, and how they are doing, what is the politics that is played at the international level, and to promote the particular interest of companies in different countries, and to impose and to impose the various restrictions on the developing countries, and in order to make profit for the big MNCs at the international level, and to control the entire market system of the world, is one of the important ideology that many MNCs are possessing with them. Many MNCs are playing with them. They are playing with the poor country poverty, okay, and they are also playing this game to the developing countries to make them again poor, to increase their and expand their business activities and many other things. So, dear students, let us discuss about the World Trade Organizations, okay, which is also an important part of this lesson, globalization and the Indian economy. So, here we will discuss about the WTO. Now, WTO World Trade Organization is the organizations which established, okay, in initial period it was established as GATT. General Agreement on Trade and Tariff. The earlier name of WTO was GATT, G-A-T-T, GATT. Later it was renamed as World Trade Organizations because GATT represented the particular part of the world. Okay, it was not represented and it was not considered as the representative of the entire world trade. Therefore, it was renamed as World Trade Organizations. So it is known as, in short, WTO. So now, how WTO is important and what is the role of WTO in this globalization? Okay, or this particular lesson. See, we already discussed about the liberalization. Liberalization is making trade free. Okay, businesses are allowed to take their decisions freely. And how the decisions are taken freely? What were the problems in making the decisions freely? And how WTO pressurizing the developing countries and all that we are going to explore. So listen, the main aim of WTO is to liberalize international trade. It thought that the international trade should be free from all restrictions. WTO also realized, and many countries and MNCs they realized that the trade should be free. There should not be any regulations. There should not be any restrictions and limitations on international trade. The trade should be free. The trade should be free. The investment, foreign investment, should be also free in all countries. There should be easy movements of goods, services, and commodities among the countries in the world. Okay, so that is why WTO was established to liberalize, to make the trade free of international level. Okay, so the main aim of WTO is to liberalize international trade, to make the international trade free. There should be no restrictions, there should be no imposition of any kind, okay, so that it can prevent the trade. So keep in mind, the main aim of WTO is to liberalize international trade, making trade free. Second, this WTO or liberalization was started by WTO, okay, by the initiative of developed countries. Okay, developed countries are Germany, France, Japan, England, USA. Okay, these countries are developed countries. China. So developed countries decided and they thought that the trade should be liberalized. The trade should be free. Why not developing countries? Here is also one question to discuss and to debate why developing countries are not forcing to have free trade, but why only developed countries? The reason is that in developed countries there are big MNCs, and big MNCs their main motto is to expand trade and business activities in entire world and to capture the international market, and therefore these developed countries they initiated the process to liberalize trade to reach their products and their companies in all corners of the world. So WTO establishes rules and regulations and sees that these rules are obeyed properly. WTO's main aim is also it establishes rules regarding liberalization of trade, okay, rules and regulations, and also sees and also supervises that whether these rules are obeyed or not properly by all countries, including developing and developed countries. Okay. Number 4. Currently, 164 countries of the world are the members of WTO, including India. India is also member of WTO. Okay, so currently 164 countries of the world are members of WTO. Okay, their share is there in the WTO. Then, but there is one contrasting feature that developed countries have retained trade barriers unfairly. WTO's main aim is to liberalize trade, and they also establishes rules and regulations regarding liberalization of trade, and they also sees that whether the rules are strictly followed and obeyed by the developed countries and by the developing countries. But what happened? We are also not able to see the negative and dark side of the WTO. That developed countries which started the liberalization of trade, okay, these countries have retained their trade barriers unfairly. Okay, means developed countries, China, Germany, Japan, England, okay, Russia, America, UAE, these countries have imposed restrictions on their trade. Okay, they have keep the trade barriers. Actually, they started to remove the trade barriers movement, but on the other hand, these countries have retained trade barriers. They keep the trade barriers and does not allow any foreign MNCs to come in their countries and to invest. Okay, for such countries, WTO is not doing any strict action, or the WTO has not taken any stringent action against the developed countries. But on the other hand, WTO rules have forced developing countries to remove trade barriers. Okay, see what is this tragedy? That developed countries have started the initiative of the liberalization of trade. Okay, WTO also establishes rules and regulations, but on the other hand, WTO rules are forcing developing countries to remove trade barriers so that big MNCs of developed countries can come in their countries and expand their business and trade to complete eradication for the local manufacturers and local businesses. Okay, therefore, WTO has not taken any strict action against the developed countries. So, this is all about WTO. So, dear students, keep in mind, this is also important in the context of examination. Okay, so keep in mind, its aim to liberalize international trade. It was started by the initiative of developed countries. The rules and regulations are established and sees that these rules are obeyed. 164 countries are currently members of WTO, and developed countries have kept their barriers as it is. They did not allow any developing countries MNCs to come in their country, but on the other hand, WTO rules are forcing developing countries to remove trade barriers. So definitely, World Trade Organization is closely connected and linked to the liberalization of trade and also globalization. Okay. So I hope you have understood this WTO. Now let us move towards the another part, that is steps to attract foreign investment. Now how the government of any country can attract the foreign investment? What are the ways and what are the steps to attract foreign investment? See, even if MNCs are ready and MNCs are interested to expand their businesses in developing countries, okay, for example, but if they thought and realized that after going in this country, okay, people are very much backward or they are not literate, okay, the country is not civilized, then MNCs can also reject their ideas to expand the business. Therefore, there should be some strategies and there should be some steps to attract foreign investment. Okay, so in this part we are going to discuss what are the steps to attract foreign investment. Okay, in our country, so that many more foreign companies to come and invest to create and generate employment opportunities. So let us see steps to attract foreign investment. Here, one essential factor was which is created for the attracting foreign investment is special economic zone. Industrial zones are called special economic zone. In short, it is called SEZ. 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 Special economic zone, that is SEZ, are being set up in many countries of the world. This special economic zone, which is known as SEZ, okay, it will have world-class facilities, super facilities, very extraordinary facilities. Okay, in which field? It has world-class facilities, especially in electricity, water, okay, fresh drinking water, roads, transportation, storage, and education and recreational facilities. These states or industrial zones, which are called special economic zones, always have these world-class, very high-level facilities of electricity, 24-hour world-class facilities, including electricity, water supply, roads, transport, storage, education, recreational, etc. Then the companies which set up their centers in the SEZ, as I already told you that SEZ are called industrial zones. Okay, SEZ is a big project, very big project, and in that SEZ many MNCs are involved. Not only one MNC, but many MNCs are involved. Some MNCs can provide electricity, some MNCs can take the tender of water, okay, some MNCs can take the tender of roads, construction, transportation, storage, or some MNCs can establish their educational centers, okay, which have super class, okay, curriculum and extraordinary facilities. So therefore, different types of MNCs are working and included in the SEZ, because SEZ is a very big and vast project which is known as industrial zone. So the companies which involves or which set up their centers in the SEZ do not have to pay taxes in the initial period of 5 years. Okay, in the initial period of 5 years, they are exempted from paying taxes. Okay, because they are providing a super and extraordinary facilities to the people who are living in this area. So the companies which involve or which provide these facilities and set up their centers in the SEZ do not have to pay taxes in the period of initial 5 years. And recently, you know that in early period, we in the second chapter of the economics, we already discussed about the organized and unorganized sector. In organized sector, workers work with the rules and regulations. Okay, their claims and their interests are protected by the owner. Okay, but in recent day and recent age of the globalization, okay, the sales companies and many MNCs, they wanted more and more flexibility in the labor laws. So that is why what happened in early period, workers were appointed permanent. But nowadays, in the period of globalization, okay, in the period of advanced technology and everything is going to privatize. Okay, in this period, in the period of globalization, workers are hired when there is intense pressure of work. And when there is no work, workers are removed from the job. So that why this was done? This was done to reduce the cost of labor for the company and to earn greater profit. Dear students, keep in mind the world has now changing in very transformative and revolutionary way. Okay, in this 21st century, in the period of globalization, everything is changing very rapidly and intensively. Okay, there is no job security. Okay, there is no protection for the workers and labor laws are strictly followed. Okay, even many MNCs are demanding more and more flexibility in the labor laws. This would lead to uncertain employment. Okay, so the agenda of the MNCs in the globalization period is that to perform or perish. Either you perform or perish and leave the job. So therefore, we have to be ready with the knowledge, skills in this 21st century in the period of globalization. Then only we can survive and able to compete and sustain in this modern competitive world. Okay, so therefore students, in the period of globalization, there is flexibility in hiring workers for short period of time. When there is intense pressure of work, in this case, the workers are hired only for that short period of time, and once the work get over, workers are asked to leave the jobs. Okay, this is the current agenda of privatization. This is the current agenda of globalization. So this is done. This flexibility of workers for short period of time was done to reduce the cost of labor for the company. But whatever it be, these sales are one of the important factor which attract foreign investment. If very big project is being set up, many companies they are attracted towards such products, towards such industrial zones, which is called sales, and invest their money to earn greater profit. Okay, so this is called sales. So the example of sales in our area is that the Nagpur Mihan, which is known as cargo hub or Mihan, it is an example of industrial zone and sales. Okay, so dear students, I hope that you have understood this particular part well, and hope to again read more and more, and I also tell you to expand your knowledge in the field of globalization, and try to understand various concepts. Okay, to get the concept clear about the Indian economy and WTO and about the sales and how these multinational companies work at the international level. What is the politics is being engaged or involved in all these companies? What are the benefits to the which countries, and which countries are coming down due to the globalization, and how people face difficulties, and how people are scared, how people are helpless in the period of globalization. These all are different phenomena and aspects that you need to discover by your own ways. Okay, so dear students, I hope you have understood this particular part well. Let us meet tomorrow again with a new part, which is again most exciting and fascinating. Till keep reading, we'll meet tomorrow. Thank you.